You can't make this stuff up. You just can't. This is another fairy tale. Vancouver Canucks come back in the third period, 3 consecutive goals, and the Toronto Maple Leafs have a meltdown. A Maple Leafs meltdown. They choked. Whatever you want to call it, the Maple Leafs did it tonight. This was an embarrassment. You know, the first loss to the Vancouver Canucks, I'm fine with that. This team's on a Western road trip. They've been playing a lot of games in a short amount of time. First loss was acceptable. This second loss tonight, unacceptable. The way that they did it, absolutely unacceptable. If you're going to lose a hockey game, that is fine. But the way that the Toronto Maple Leafs lost tonight, they gave this game to the Vancouver Canucks with 2 errors that stand out to me above the rest. And they are by 2 of our best players, Mitch Marner and William Nylander. This was a travesty to watch. It was horrible. Let me know in the comments section what everyone here thinks. And this is tough. Dennis says sloppy turnovers in the playoffs. The Bruins or the Lightning are going to destroy them. And you know what? You're right. Yeah, I know. I've been saying that. I hope the Maple Leafs can compete with the big boys. But if we continue seeing meltdowns like this, where we are literally giving away the game, then yeah, we're not going to compete with the Bruins and the Lightning. Too many times we see it. Too often we see them just give away the game. And I'm going back to that Ottawa Senators game. We blew a big lead then. You thought this team would have learned, and they didn't. Against the 6th place Vancouver Canucks, they gave this game away. It's just horrible. It was horrible to watch. Tape to Tape says, I feel bad. I've got that feeling too. And I'm used to this feeling by now. Rusty Nail says, the Leafs are looking very fatigued. They couldn't control any passes, couldn't really generate anything, and skated much slower than Vancouver. And you know what? I understand that. I understand that they're fatigued, and I get that. For the first game, especially when you had 3 games in 4 days. You had a rest day yesterday, you come back tonight, and you should win this game. It's an early start time for them. It's 7 p.m., which is really 4 p.m. over there. So, yes, you can consider all the fatigued, but this is not acceptable. You can't just say, oh, they're tired. You have 1 more period to go. Seal the deal, keep the pedal to the metal, and come out with this victory. At least come away with 1 point. But then they do that. They just blow this game completely. William Nylander, what are you thinking with that penalty? And Mitch Marner, come on. Come on. Why? Why do you just do that drop pass to Vancouver and then they get a 3-on-2? It's horrible. That was just unacceptable. Old School says Vancouver was tough, fast, and motivated. And yeah, you got to give a shout out to the Vancouver Canucks. They look good out there. And yeah, sure, they're a skilled team. But that loss tonight, you blame the Toronto Maple Leafs for that loss. You can say the Vancouver Canucks, they came back and they did good. But the Maple Leafs gave this game away. They gave this game away. They had it. They needed to keep applying the pressure, and then they gave it away. Rick first says, Nylander clearing the puck over the glass is what caused the Leafs to lose. And you know what? I'm with you, Rick. I'm with you. Right after Nylander puts it over the glass, which I don't understand for the life of me why he did that. Could have banged it up against the boards if he wanted to, just flat on the ice. Could have passed it to Tavares or Kerfoot. Could have dropped it back like Marner. But, oh, no. With 10 minutes left, let's flip this thing up and watch it go over the glass. And the Toronto Maple Leafs were deflated from that moment on. Vancouver Canucks, they just rolled all over us after that play. That was tough. And then Jarrett Richard, great point. Morgan Rielly didn't play well at all tonight. And you are correct. Morgan Rielly, he looked slow out there. He couldn't control the puck at all. In the offensive zone, he could not get the puck on his stick. And in the defensive zone, he was just bobbling that thing all over the place. He gave the puck away on another Vancouver goal. These mistakes from our top-end talent, that's coming back to bite us. And then don't get me started on Mitch Marner, okay? Mitch Marner. He's had an exceptional season, for sure. Been amazing this year. Man. Down one goal. This team still has a chance. Still have a fighting chance in this game. And you drop the pass. You just do a drop pass behind your back. Are you kidding me? The Vancouver Canucks take it 3-on-2, and they seal the deal. That was the final nail in the coffin. Mitch Marner, you could have done anything else that play. I don't care if you're doing a fancy deke. I don't care if you dump the puck in deep. Do anything else. But don't do this no-look drop-back pass right to the Vancouver Canucks. I'm always preaching about how Mitch Marner, William Nylander, our players are performing well. Well, tonight, you got to call it how you see it. And Mitch Marner, William Nylander, they had big contributions in the Maple Leafs loss tonight. Drop back pass and just a flip over the glass. That is one of the dumbest plays, actually two of the dumbest plays I've seen in a long time. I do not understand what was going through their mind at that time. Oh, I'm just going to drop back. I'm going to drop the puck back and let Vancouver take it the other way. Seal the deal. William Nylander says, I have so many options here, but let's just flip it over the glass. Let's flip it to the boards, see what happens. This is what happens when you make critical errors like that. Horrible plays from the Toronto Maple Leafs. Oh. Camden says, come on, guys, we're first in the league. We can be first in the league, and I love that. I love that we're first in the league. I'm literally the guy who says, keep calm and be Leaf. I am that guy. But this is what's going to come back to bite the Maple Leafs later in the season. Inconsistencies like this. Critical errors. You would think that the Maple Leafs have learned by now as a team not to do these things. And I know that we've been amazing this year. We've barely lost any of our games. But the way we've lost these games has been concerning. We've had two big blown leads now. We blew the lead against Ottawa. You all remember that game. And that's the game where I said this should be a turning point and this should not happen again. And then it happens tonight against Vancouver because of two critical errors. I was not even upset about the loss the other night to Vancouver. I said, you know what? This team's tired. It's a Western road trip. There's a lot to factor in. but I cannot make excuses for plays like that. There is no excuse to drop the puck back, and there's no excuse to take a delay of game penalty with 10 minutes left. You cannot make an excuse. Absolutely inexcusable. Rick first says we will be all right. It's 2 losses in a row. Vancouver goalie stood on his head. And yeah, that Demko was amazing. He was definitely amazing. But I feel as if this is a game we should have won. We absolutely should have won. Parker says it was a lazy play by Nylander. It was a lazy play by Nylander. It definitely was. And I don't understand. I'm just really trying to understand what's going through your mind at that point in time. Just flip the puck and just watch it go over the glass. And then it's infuriating. It's infuriating to watch that because it's a story that we've seen so many times. It's a story we've seen so many times. It's like a broken record at this point, and I think you all understand that as well. ASC says Leafs are due for a rough patch. It happens to the best of them. It's a good comment, ASC, and you know what? It's about how this team responds from this. I understand, and I'm furious right now. I'm furious about this loss. But it's about how you respond to adversity. We've seen this team respond to adversity with injuries all season long, and we saw how they bounce back after that Ottawa loss. We need to see this team bounce back against the Winnipeg Jets, and we need to dominate in these next couple games. There can be no more Maple Leafs meltdowns this year. And I know that sounds like it's asking for a lot because of how frequently it happens, but no more. No more. I've seen it enough. I've seen it enough this year. This team needs to stop choking. They need to stop choking so they can be more confident later on in the season getting into the playoffs. Rick Furr says, not just Marner. What about Matthews? He is a no-show 2 games now, and he has also turned over the puck, but lucky Vancouver didn't score. Yeah, Matthews, he hasn't really looked that great either. I mean, he's been doing a lot of things. Okay, I'm not gonna say he hasn't looked great. I'll say that he hasn't been able to capitalize on his opportunities. He set up a lot of plays tonight. Actually, he set up Joe Thornton right in front of the net, and Thornton, come on, man, Joe Thornton just let that thing trickle by him. That was a goal. Would have tied it back up. Austin Matthews has done a lot of things, but he just can't get on the score sheet. I know we expect a lot from him, obviously, generational talent. He's coming off of a wrist injury that's hard to recover from. Hopefully, he can get back on the score sheet. We've been running into a very hot goaltender, Thatcher Demko. I'd expect Austin Matthews to step up his performance here. And yes, JB, that's a good point. Good point. Matthews penalty gave up a power play goal as well. So Matthews and Nylander and Marner and Morgan Riley, those are the players that you can put some blame on tonight. You can put some blame on those players tonight. And the rest of the team, they didn't do much either. I mean, there's some stuff that did some good things, but other than that, it was very tough. Travis says, "Is the stuff in your merch store Canadian or U.S. prices?" So for some reason it says it's U.S. prices, but it is in Canadian dollars, Canadian currency, and any orders over $100 have free shipping. So this is what we all need to do right now. We need to just try our best, keep calm, and believe. It's if you like those mugs, the link to that's in the description below. But this is this is the same story over and over again. It's horrible. Yeah, old school. Me too. It's been tough. Come on, this team with Matthews plays different, not as a team. What has he done the last 3 games? He's had a couple posts. I mean, that's not a good thing necessarily. But Austin Matthews, this team is better with Austin Matthews. Please do not think otherwise. This team with Austin Matthews is a better team. You can say, oh, when we play Edmonton this year, we're 3-0 without Matthews. Cool. That's a great thing. That's a sign of what this team can do without him. But Austin Matthews makes this team a better team. Do not mistake it. Do not mistake it. Austin Matthews makes this team a better team, and he makes any team in the NHL a better team. He's a generational talent. He's got a hell of a shot. He's got a wrist injury still nagging right now. Just give him time. He'll come out. He'll perform. He's gonna win the Rocket Richard Trophy this year. Still leading the league in goals here. Still leading the league in goals after 3 missed games. Joseph Clark says, smash the like button, smash the sub. Thank you, Joseph Clark. If you haven't already, make sure you smash the like button, hit the notification bell to be notified every time I'm here on Maple Leafs Media. Always got some new stuff coming out here. And Hot Take Hockey, yep. You said it spot on. Spot on. If you haven't checked out his live streams that he's got a bunch of live streams going on, live reactions. They're great. Make sure you check them out. He's got other stuff on his channel. Check out Hot Take Hockey. This was an absolute embarrassment here tonight. Mitch Marner, William Nylander. All of our best players were embarrassing tonight. Absolutely embarrassing. Let's get to the 3 stars of the game. No one from Toronto, that's for sure. Brock Besser. Big night for one of my fantasy teams, I guess. Hey, hip hip hooray. Bo Horvat. JT Miller. These 3 led the charge for the Vancouver Canucks. Deservingly the 3 stars of the game. And if you're a Vancouver fan, you might want to put Mitch Marner or William Nylander on there. But I'm not going to because they're not deserving of it. This is tough to watch. So, yeah, the Maple Leafs with 2 straight losses to the Vancouver Canucks. And like I said, that first one, I wasn't even phased by it. It happens, right? You lose a game on a Western road trip. You just 3 games in 4 days. There's a fatigue factor. There's a lot to take into consideration. You lose a game to Vancouver, that's fine. But this second loss, it was just something we've seen far too many times with this Maple Leafs team. Maple Leafs meltdown. Maple Leafs meltdown, a choke job. We gave the Vancouver Canucks this win. And yes, they performed. They played better than us. But we gave them this win in the 3rd period with our mistakes. Critical errors from our top players. And that's the reason the Toronto Maple Leafs lost this game tonight. It's really infuriating. Double D17 says the big test is the next 3 games against the Jets. And you're right. You're right. The Winnipeg Jets, 2nd in the North Division. These are going to be critical games. The Toronto Maple Leafs need to come out firing. They need to just get past this. Get past this tough loss. This tough patch that we've been going through. Get past it. Overcome the adversity. Regain some confidence. And we need to come out for the Winnipeg Jets. We need to come out firing, and we need to come away with some wins. 3 games against the Jets, I want to win at least 2. I want to win at least 2. I'd be happy with 3. 2 of 3 against the Winnipeg Jets. That's what we need to do. We need to really maintain our stranglehold on the North Division. Leafs Forever says it well. Shake it off and regroup against the Winnipeg Jets. Just keep calm and be Leaf. Parker, you're right. There is no excuse. No excuse for tonight's loss. This is unexcusable, what we just saw tonight. Teams just shut down and shadow the top line. If Matthews and Marner are not scoring, you can beat them. Well, yeah, if your top players aren't scoring, of course you can beat them. And that's where we need contributions from our bottom six. And tonight, really, what we got contributions from was players that haven't been scoring too frequently, but they've been getting on the score sheet more and more often recently. John Tavares, I called it. I called it that he's going to he's going to start getting going. Now he has 5 points in the last 5 games. Watch for him to continue playing at this rate for the rest of the season. He's too good to be held off the score sheet. And then second, Jimmy Vesey. How about Jimmy Vesey, everybody? I know it's a tough loss, but we can take some positive away from this, right? Jimmy Vesey. He's got 5 goals on the season. He's been looking better. This is a guy who has just recently talked about being scratched from the lineup. Everyone was getting on him, and I understand it. I'm a big Jimmy Vesey guy. I've been tooting his horn for a long time now. But Jimmy Vesey, after that 15-game point streak, he's really been turning it on recently. Jimmy Vesey needs to continue his play like this because he's fighting for valuable ice time, and he needs to continue playing the way he has been. John Tavares, you expect it from him. But the rest of this team, it was tough. ASC says Thornton is starting to show his age, and I agree with you. I agree with you for sure. Things were going well. He was playing awesome on that first line with Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner, and I still think that they have a great chemistry together. But the age is showing. How can the Maple Leafs fix this? Is there a way that the Maple Leafs can fix this? Is there any ways around it? I think there is. I think you got to think about some load management here. You got to think load management for Jumbo Joe Thornton. Or you got to switch up the lines and put someone else on the first line. There's 2 options. Switch up the lines or do load management. Load management, like what happened with Kawhi Leonard in the NBA when the Raptors won the championship. Just give Thornton some off nights. This is a guy who's slowing down. It comes with age. It happens. He's a Hall of Famer. We all know he's a Hall of Famer, and he's had a great track record in his career. But his age is starting to show, and there is no denying it. There's no denying it. So you can either load manage or move him down in the lineup. There's multiple different options tonight, though. Third line being better than the first 3 games in a row is very concerning. Matthews and Marner need to be better for the Jets. They need to be better. Spot on Baseball 27. They need to be better. We need our top players to play better, and that's why we lost tonight. Matthews and Nylander with costly penalties tonight. Marner with that horrendous drop pass, giving away a goal. And then Morgan Riley was fumbling the puck all night long. The Toronto Maple Leafs tonight lost this game because our top players weren't performing. We need our players to be better, especially our top players. They need to show why they get paid. Play in the big time moments. Finish out the game. We need our top guys to be better. Leafs forever. My favorite player is Sidney Crosby. Sidney Crosby is my favorite player of all time. Old School says, I think Mikheyev should play with Marner and Matthews. I'm not going to go against it. A lot of people would. I'm sure a lot of people would go against it, but Ilya Mikheyev is a really hard worker. He'll block shots. He's valuable on the penalty kill. Why not give him a chance on that first line? We've seen his speed. He literally, the other night, he beat Connor McDavid in a one-on-one foot race. You can give Ilya Mikheyev a spot on the first line, and he can definitely keep up skating with them, and he can probably get some goals out there. He can do some stuff on that first line. You could give it a chance. you could definitely give it a chance. The triple M line, you can give it a chance. We'll see. We'll see what Sheldon Keefe is going to do, and I don't think Sheldon Keefe's afraid of mixing this lineup at all. We've seen him make tons of line changes all the time, and that's what you need to do. You need to be flexible with your lineup, unlike our previous coach, Mike Babcock. You need to be able to switch things up throughout the season, especially in this pandemic season. There's so many more things to take into consideration. We need to switch it up. And Andrew brings up Zach Hyman. He's another player that you could put up there on the first line. I mean, Zach Hyman is a good player. He needs to get going. And in that Edmonton series, Zach Hyman was doing so many great things. Vancouver mini series, a bit quieter. Zach Hyman's a workhorse. He's another guy you could put up there on the first line. You could put Hyman or Mikheyev. Zach Hyman is always one of our best players out there because he is always grinding. He's getting in the dirty areas. He'll get in front of the net, in the corners down low. Zach Hyman is an underappreciated piece in the NHL. JB says Galchenyuk ready. Did you see his goal with the Marlies? It was pretty nice, and we could try it. We could try bringing Alex Galchenyuk into this lineup, give us a bolster. Not sure. Not sure what the Maple Leafs plan on doing with him, but I don't think Jimmy Vesey's finding his way out of the lineup anytime soon. So it'd have to be someone else. Maybe you could, if you wanted to do the load management thing that I attested to earlier, you could put him in for Thornton some nights, switch it up a bit. And ASC says that the problem with load management is that it messes up with the line chemistry. And yes, it does. But it can also give your veterans some much needed rest in this condensed season. It could give them some much needed rest. So there's definitely pros and cons to it. JB says Boyd out, and it's an option. That's an option for sure. ASC says problem with Mikheyev on the first line is that he's not a great passer like Jumbo, and he has stone hands, so he won't score much. And that's a good comment. That's a good comment. A great point from ASC. Ilya Mikheyev, he's got the speed that Jumbo Joe Thornton does not possess, but he does not have the passing ability, the playmaking ability that Hall of Famer Joe Thornton has. So there's ups and downs to both. You could do switching them back and forth throughout the entire game, like what Zach Hyman and Joe Thornton were doing early in the season. I don't know what the answer is. I don't know what the answer is going to be for the Toronto Maple Leafs on that first line. I think they might keep it the same for a bit longer, if I'm being honest. I think that Joe Thornton, he's going to be on the first line for a bit longer. And if it doesn't fix itself, then I would expect it to be I'd expect changes to be made in probably around middle end of the Winnipeg series if they aren't getting it going. Because if you need your top line to really contribute if you want to have success later in the season. ASC also says would do Spezza on the first line. And Spezza, see, the reason for me that doesn't work is because Jason Spezza's a right-handed shot. Then you have, unless you're putting Spezza at center and Matthews on the wing, which I don't want to do. I like Spezza down there on the fourth line. I think he does a lot of great things there. I mean, Jason Spezza is definitely an underappreciated player, but I don't think you put him on the first line. Then you have a right-handed shot on both wings and Matthews at center, unless you move. So it doesn't work. It doesn't work. And old school, I know Spezza is a center. I am aware of this. But are you going to move Matthews from the center position? You're not going to move Matthews from the center. So that forced Spezza to the wing. Spezza has played wing this season as well. So it doesn't make sense to put Spezza on the first line to me. Andrew says Spezza, his age is showing his age. And Andrew, I'm going to disagree with that. More Thornton more so than Spezza. Thornton more so than him. Uh, Spezza has been performing well this season. He's been contributing, and he doesn't really get that much ice time. He's valuable in the face-off circle, on the penalty kill, and he does a lot of good things when he's playing on the wing or the center position. He does a lot of good things for this team. Great locker room presence. His age hasn't really been showing that much. I mean, he's done a lot of vintage things for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Vintage Spezza. Oh, we got Dan, the Montreal fan, in here. I bet he's having a good night. Unlike us, Toronto Maple Leafs fans. What's up? Well, we're pretty upset here. I mean, we gave this game away to the Vancouver Canucks. Double D17. I believe Matthews is still hurting, and I do too. I do too. Double D17. Uh, I've had a wrist injury in the past. I broke my wrist, and wrist injuries linger. They're lingering injuries, especially in hockey, where you have to put weight on your stick, on your wrist. It's inevitable that that's going to be a lingering injury. I believe he's still hurting as well, but it this team needs to be better. We need to be better. Yes, he broke his wrist 5 years ago, and it still lingers. And yeah, I think I broke mine around the same time. I have a metal screw in there. It it's a lingering injury. The effects of it last. It you don't A lot of the times you don't even get your full range of motion back. It is a lingering injury. Wrists are hard to recover from, especially putting the weight. Okay, Ryan. Ryan, yeah, right. Spot on, Ryan. Spot on. No, it doesn't excuse Marner's poor play tonight. Woo! It's going to be replaying in my head for a long time. Wow. Mitch Marner. He's been great all year long, and you got to call a spade, right? He's been amazing. But tonight, he made a critical error. And you all know what it is if you watch this game. Mitch Marner in the neutral zone. Could have dumped the puck into Vancouver's end. He says, "Nah, I'm just going to do a drop pass right back to the stick of a Vancouver Canuck, 3-on-2, and the Vancouver Canucks add on to their lead. The Vancouver Canucks won because of our best players tonight, because of errors from Matthews, Nylander, and Marner. The Nylander error was inexcusable as well. Firing the puck over the boards, delay of game penalty, horrible, horrible. And Austin Matthews with the penalty early in the game. Our best players cost us this game, and it's really frustrating. It's so frustrating to watch this on repeat. The Toronto Maple Leafs torture us sometimes, don't they? And I'm always saying that, you just got to keep calm and belief sometimes, but they make it hard to do, don't they? This team needs to respond. They need to respond against the Winnipeg Jets. ASC though, ASC, ASC. I get your comment. Anyone who plays hockey will understand why Marner did that drop pass because he had nothing in the tank. Okay, okay, sure. If you're gonna do a line change, you know what my coaches always taught me to do? Dump it deep. Dump it deep. That way there's no one behind you. Like, you dump that puck deep and get off the ice if that's the case. Dump the puck into the opponent's zone. Give your guys time for a line change. That's what you do. You dump that puck deep. You don't just drop that pass back. Baseball 27. Good comment. 2 days off is going to be huge for going into this Winnipeg series. And you're right. You're right. This rest is going to be huge. We're going to have to fly back to Toronto. So we need to just take our time off, chill. Chill out. Don't do anything. Just have your practice, morning skate, whatever. And after that, go home, eat well, prepare for these games. Take this Vancouver road trip off your mind. This team was playing great before we reached Vancouver. Vancouver's a young, talented team. They've got a lot of good players over there. But we need to be better against the Winnipeg Jets because they are better than the Vancouver Canucks. They're second place in this North Division, and you know they're trying to get to first place. They're going to come out and give us their best, night in and night out. They're going to be motivated. So the Toronto Maple Leafs need to play like they are in second place. They need to play like they're in second place and fight with the Winnipeg Jets. Be scrappy. We need to win these games because they're going to come out firing. They're going to be hungry. Pro Guide Entertainment. I want the Leafs to play better next game and win. Go Leafs, go! Go Leafs, go! They definitely need to be better. Need to be better next game. ASC says, I agree. Got to dump that puck in. Not defending him at all. And yeah, there's no defending that play from Marner. I know he's been amazing this season, but that play was inexcusable. Old School says, when is Simmons back? When is Simmons back? Right now it is March 6th. That injury happened around the beginning of February, so 4 to 6 week recovery period. Probably another 2 or 3 weeks from now is what I'd guess, because that's another broken wrist injury. I had a broken wrist. That takes time to heal. I would not expect them to be back next game, Hockey Kid. It's going to be a couple more weeks. 2 or 3 weeks. Yeah. 2 or 3 weeks. This comes from the ones with the wrist injuries. It's going to be another 2 or 3 weeks. It was a 4 to 6 week recovery period at the time, and I believe he was injured around February 4th, if I'm not mistaken. So February 4th, he was injured against the Canucks, and it's been just a bit over a month now. So probably another 2 or 3 weeks. And honestly, you might even want to give him some more time. Just let him fully recover. You don't want to rush him back and have that broken wrist escalate and become a worse broken wrist, require more surgery. You do not want that. So just give him time. Give him the time that he needs. He's probably back versus Sens on St. Pat's night before the huge 5-day break. Well, it could be that, or it could be after the 5-day break. Use that extra 5 days to recover even more. It could be around then. That's probably a good timeline. Baseball 27 says we need Campbell back. I mean, Jack Campbell, he's good to have, right? He's really good to have as your backup goaltender. But I don't necessarily think you need to get him back immediately. Another injury. Let him recover. Let your injuries recover. Hutchinson has been playing well. I know that he had a couple tough goals against him the past game against the Canucks. But Hutchinson, outside of that one game, he's been solid enough to get us wins. So, yes, I want Jack Campbell back, but I also want him to be fully healthy. I want him to get healed up before we rush him back. Do not rush him back. Baseball 27. Do you think Toffoli passes Matthews? No. Nah. Austin Matthews will win the Rocket this year. He will win the Rocket this year. Do not blame Freddie for this game at all. Only one keeping us alive. I'm not going to disagree with you. Frederik Andersen, you cannot blame him for this loss, really. Sure. I mean, really, the two people that I'm putting this on, the most, more than anybody, is William Nylander and Mitchell Marner. That's who I'm putting this game on most. 2 star players, 2 critical errors. Sure, you got your goalie back there, but you hung him out to dry. A late game penalty. A penalty with a delay of game. William Nylander puts that bad boy right over the glass, and it's a power play. Brock Besser snipes from the point. Hell of a shot from Brock Besser, by the way. Frederik Andersen screened. Not much you can do on that. You hung him out to dry when you took that penalty. And then Mitch Marner. Oh, Mitch. Mitch. He's been amazing this year. He has been outstanding all season long. But come on. Really? A drop pass at this gesture in time. At this point in time, you drop a drop pass right to the stick of a Vancouver Canuck for a 3-on-2 and a Canucks goal to put the final nail in the coffin. Baseball 27 says, I blame that damn Thatcher Demko again. I believe he had over 30 saves. I think he had like 39 saves. I'm not sure the exact number, but he's a great goaltender. He's a great goaltender. Frank Rusty Nail says, I'd like to see Freddie Andersen show more emotion. Slam a stick on the post. Show the team he doesn't appreciate the effort in front of him. I mean, you can tell he's pissed off, but I don't... That's a touchy subject for a lot of people. I don't necessarily think that you have to slam your stick off the post to show that you're pissed off. Like, he's not happy. He's visibly not happy. I don't think he needs to smash his stick off the post. But I get what you're saying. He's very invested in the game of hockey, or else he wouldn't be a starting goaltender in the NHL at this point in his career. This is officially the second worst game of the season. First proudly goes to the 5-1 choke. Yep, you're right. You're right. This was a tough one. Tough loss. I don't think I've ever seen Marner play that bad of a shift in his career. He was responsible for 2 goals, and then Willie's brain just turned off with a penalty. Yeah, I don't know what Nylander was thinking, honestly. Nylander, what was he thinking? I would love to go into the mind of William Nylander there. And you know what? Hockey is a very fast game. You can see split-second decisions, but that was a horrible decision. Could have passed the puck anywhere else. But no. Let's put the puck over the glass with 10 minutes left to give the Canucks a power play. With all of the Vancouver Canucks young talent, Brock Besser, Bo Horvat, Quinn Hughes, you're giving that team a power play with 10 minutes left in a 1-goal game? Are you kidding me, William? Come on, Willie. And Marner, you know how I feel about that play. Critical error. You got next game, I'm expecting Marner and Nylander to bounce back from that. And I'm pretty shocked that they weren't benched for the remainder of that game. I mean, that would have made a statement, right? It would have made a statement to bench them for the final 2 minutes of the game. And I know they're your best players, but we lost that game. We lost that game the second that Mitch Marner did that drop pass. You knew it was over. And the Toronto Maple Leafs, they looked like they knew it was over as well. Horrible play from both these 2 players. Old School says Freddie and Tavares never show emotion. And that's That's just the type of players they are. I'm sure obviously deep down they care about everything that they're doing. John Tavares, he's so invested in the game of hockey. Just go back and watch my Martin Biron interview. He was a teammate with John Tavares for his rookie season. He's got a great story about how John Tavares wouldn't go out 3 days before a game to a big red carpet event in New York City. He wouldn't do it. He is very emotionally invested in the game of hockey. Frederik Andersen, emotionally invested into the game of hockey. They're just not type of players that's going to smash their stick or just wreak havoc, cause havoc every single time they get upset. Yeah, Freddie is a humble guy and a good teammate. He doesn't do that. Ryan says, the Canucks tonight reminded me a lot of Columbus last year. Really annoying to play against, clogging the zone, and solid goaltending. And I could see that. I could see that for sure. It's a good comment, Ryan. Leafs played brutal, but the funny thing is, we still almost stole this game. Nevin, we gave this game away. We gave this game away. Baseball 27 says, literally, Nylander takes one more stride, and it's a completely different outcome. Ryan says, also, Tavares was our best forward, and Tavares was our best forward tonight, and another one of our best forwards tonight was a guy named Jimmy Vesey. That's right, Jimmy Vesey. He has been stellar the past couple of games, playing his role perfectly. He's got 3 goals in the past 3 games. He's coming off that big 15-game pointless streak. He has been playing for. He's been playing for a lot of, ice time. He's fighting for ice time because he was struggling early on in the season. So let's see if he can continue to play like this because he played really well tonight. Canucks are a good team when they show up. When they show up, critical right there. JT Miller, Brock Besser, Demko, Horvat, Hughes, all studs. They have a lot of young talent, and they just haven't been able to piece it together this season. I wouldn't be surprised to see a little bit of a resurgence from the Canucks by the end of this season, and see them make a run in the playoffs. But their problem is their defense. They're like the Maple Leafs a couple years ago. Their problem is defensively. They're not doing the things they need to. Old school got a trade request. Oliver Ekman-Larsson for Kerfoot, Dermott, and a first rounder. I'm not sure what the contract for Ekman-Larsson looks like, but he'd be a nice player to have on our team. But if I'm trading for a defenseman, I want another Justin Hall, Jake Muzzin type of defenseman, a stay-at-home kind of guy. Where does Marner had a secret contract with the Canucks? Or we should be concerned he's seeing invisible people and has invisible friends. You know, like I said, it's inexcusable what he did tonight, but he's been outstanding the rest of the season. So hopefully he picks it up. Hopefully he picks it up next game and uses this as motivation. Sloppy and gutless performance. A lazy effort gained the reward of 2 losses in a row. Good comment. Good comment. Because the first loss I understood, I was fine with it, right? It's like, it sucks to lose, especially against the Canucks. But this is a team that you can take lightly. You can't take them lightly, though. You cannot take the Vancouver Canucks lightly. They're a good team that's definitely been underestimated. Now, that first loss, you can understand that first loss. You can understand that first loss, okay? The first loss, 3 games of 4 nights. Sure, you're going to be tired, fatigued, whatever. You're out there on the West Coast playing the Canucks at a 10 p.m. start time. And then tonight, no. No excuse for tonight. Not an excuse you can come up with for tonight's performance. We gave this game away, and it's just happened way too many times. Baseball 27. Do you think Jimmy VC moves back up? So, for all you who've been on the viewing this channel for a long time, you'd know that I'm a big Jimmy VC supporter, and honestly, I like what he's been doing on the line he's on right now. But if you put him with Tavares and Nylander, that might get even more of a spark from, because he started on that second line early in the season, and it looked good. When he moved down, he lost some of the confidence. But really, just keep him where he is if he's having this success right now. Keep him where he is, and then you can get production from up and down your entire lineup. What I'm worried about right now is that first and second line. And you should not have to move Jimmy VC up to spark them. They need to produce. Your top players need to be your top players. Your superstar players that are getting paid superstar money need to be elite superstars in order to win games. That's just the way it is. That's how it is. Jake, would you trade Marner for a true number one goalie? What is Frederik Andersen? What's Frederik Andersen? He's a true number one goaltender. Frederik Andersen is a true number one goaltender. He's a true number one goaltender. He's been the backbone of this team for years. He has been the backbone of this team for years. His contract expires at the end of the season. If you're talking about then, no. No, I'm not trading Mitch Marner right now. Look at what he's done for this team this season. And I know that this game, it's horrible. It was unexcusable what he did tonight. But no, you cannot trade Mitch Marner right now. And I don't really know that you're going to get a goalie back that's a number one goalie for Mitch Marner right now with his contract. I'm not sure that that's even possible. Trade Kerfoot for Joffrey Lupul. No motivation. They were motivated to play McDavid. And that's a good comment, old school. They were motivated against the Edmonton Oilers, against the Stars, Leon Draisaitl, and Connor McDavid. And then you play against the Vancouver Canucks, and it looks like they underestimated the Vancouver Canucks. They just forgot about the star power the Canucks have. Besser, Horvat, Quinn Hughes, JT Miller. They've got a lot of great players on their team. And the Toronto Maple Leafs did not come out to play against the Vancouver Canucks the past few nights. You can say they're fatigued and whatever, and you'd be right. But they did not come out to play, and it showed. It showed. The Toronto Maple Leafs need to come out to play against Winnipeg Jets over the next 3 games, or they're going to get smoked. They're going to get it given to them. Shea says, people need to stop blaming Freddie for everything. He did the best he could have tonight, and I feel like the team relied on him tonight. Shea, the team is always relying on him. He has been the rock on this team and in between the goalposts for years now. He's a good goaltender, and he's definitely going to be missed if he cannot be re-signed by the Toronto Maple Leafs after this season. Don't put all the blame on Frederik Andersen. If you're looking for players to blame tonight, and I hate to do this because these are our top players, but you got to call a spade a spade. It's William Nylander. It's Mitch Marner. It's Austin Matthews. It's Morgan Riley. Those are the players you blame for tonight's loss, not Frederik Andersen, because the players in front of him hung him out to dry tonight. It was pathetic. Let's face it, Andersen is not a clutch goalie. He's had 2 straight seasons now showing he's inconsistent. Okay, well, you know what he's consistently doing? Putting up some of the biggest minutes in the NHL. He gets tired. He faces so many shots, and this year he's been better. He's been much better this year, actually. Just look at the stats. He's been better recently. In this past stretch, he has been better. Anderson, the team in front of him has not been clutch. The team in front of Frederik Andersen has not been clutch. Dan says, dollar for dollar, Toffoli is win. Sorry, Habs fan here, but Toronto is a killer team this year. I don't know what is win. Toffoli is a win mean. Toffoli is definitely a good player, though. Definitely underrated goal scorer. So, yeah. Baseball 27 says there's people that should be blamed way before Freddie for this loss. Yep. Spot on. Spot on comment. He has been blamed. He shouldn't have been blamed for this loss. Why is it Frederik Andersen's fault that Mitch Marner gave the puck away? Why is it Frederik Andersen's fault that William Nylander decided to shoot the puck over the glass and change the whole momentum of this game? Why is that on Frederik Andersen? Please, someone explain to me. Why is that on Frederik Andersen? You don't bail out. You don't just leave your goalie out to dry. You don't put your team in a situation like that. William Nylander, boneheaded play. I don't know what was going through his mind. And Mitch Marner. Come on, man. Austin Matthews even had a penalty tonight. These penalties, our top players were the reason we lost this game tonight. It is not because of the play of Frederik Andersen. You want to take away Frederik Andersen from this team? Is that what you want to do? See how this team does without him. Try it. We need to regroup. You need to work this whole team's ass off next practice and slap the Jets. Sheldon Keefe, early morning skate, whatever you got to do, get this team going. Get this team going. This team needs to recover and they need to respond. They need to come back against the Winnipeg Jets, who are second in this division, and they need to play well. They need to step it up for these games because you know the Jets are going to come out firing. The Leafs podcast. Leafs are fine, just a lot of bonehead plays. Yeah, that's a fair assessment. Fair assessment. They'll be all right. They'll be all right. You just got to keep calm and belief, right? Keep calm, belief. It's one loss. We will regroup. Now you're right. It's one loss. It's one loss. It's a tough loss. I would have at least liked to have got 1 point tonight, right? It's a tough loss. We need to regroup from this. The Toronto Maple Leafs are still first in the North Division. It's just the concerning part of this is the way that they do these chokes. They choke. That's the concerning thing. They choke. They choked the Ottawa Senators. And I thought they would have learned their lesson from that. But it's evident that they didn't. Because they did it again tonight against the Canucks. And tonight, that's on the shoulders of our top talents. The Mitch Marners, the William Nylanders, and Austin Matthews of the world. They all need to be better. And they need to regroup and respond as a team. Frank Rusty Nails says, Keefe should have called the timeout and bashed the team for their effort. Wake up or sit, no matter if you're a superstar or not. And you know what? You're right. You're right. Keefe should have called the timeout there in retrospect, right? He should have probably called the timeout and regrouped this team. That's a good comment. The superstars thing, I think that he honestly should have considered sitting Mitch Marner and William Nylander those final 2 minutes to make a statement to this team. I don't care who you are. If you make a boneheaded play like that, you need to sit. I know you want your top tier guys on to try to make a comeback, but at that point, that game was lost because of our top end talent. So if you're gonna lose it for the rest of the team, sit them down. Put on John Tavares. Put on Jimmy Vesey. Put on guys who have been performing, not Mitch Marner and William Nylander. We saw Pierre Engvall on there at the end of the game. I mean, I just don't understand what Sheldon Keefe was doing there tonight. He's been great for the most part. Sheldon Keefe has been great for the most part. But yes, that's something I believe he should have done as well. I think he should have bashed the team. He should have told them, wake up, let's go. Get your stuff together. Call a timeout. Call a timeout right after that William Nylander penalty. That power play was converted on for a goal. Call a timeout right after that. It's frustrating. We let one slip tonight. We did. Should Nylander be benched? Nylander should have been benched. Now it's past the fact, and you don't bench him for a full game. You don't bench him for an entire game. If you were going to bench him, you should have benched him with 10 minutes to go. Once you got back from the penalty box, that's when you should have benched him. And I'm not a guy who says much negative stuff about the Maple Leafs. I'm always supporting our players that are getting, they're getting scrutinized for mistakes like this, but you got to call it the way it is. You got to call it the way it is. Tonight, William Nylander should have been benched. He should not have come out and seen the rest. He shouldn't have seen the rest of the game. Now, it's after the fact. There's no point in benching him next game. You can bench him for the first period, whatever. What's that going to do? That's just going to disgruntle him and cause a whole massive social media outpour about, are we trading him? Are we trading Nylander? That's what's going to happen if you bench him. That's what's going to happen if you bench him next game. Mitch Marner, same thing. There's no point in benching them now. You should have benched them for the rest of the game. Baseball 27 says, I just don't understand how you dominate the Oilers and then do that. It's mind-boggling to me. Oh, the Leafs, they're mind-boggling sometimes. They really are. It's like a broken record with them. I'll say this. I believe that the Toronto Maple Leafs were fatigued and in a different time zone. Yeah, sure. But also, they overlooked the Vancouver Canucks. The Toronto Maple Leafs overlooked the Vancouver Canucks. They got all hyped up about playing Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. And then they completely forgot about Brock Besser, Bo Horvat, JT Miller, and Quinn Hughes. They forgot about all these great talents they have in Vancouver. We overlooked the Canucks, and it showed out there. The Toronto Maple Leafs need to get it together, and they need to finish the season strong. Still a long way to go here. Can we also talk about Morgan Rielly? Yep. He's been underwhelming this season, if we're being honest. Brody is messing up a lot of his mistakes defensively. Okay, so where I'll disagree with you is that it's not been the entire season where Morgan Rielly has been underwhelming. He's been solid for a lot of it, but that's expected from your number one defenseman. That is expected. These past couple games, underwhelming. Tonight, I don't know what that was from Morgan Rielly. He could not control the puck. He couldn't control the puck at all. He was bobbling that thing, fumbling it all over the place. I don't know if it was going back to his home province of BC or what it was, but that was an ugly performance from Morgan Rielly. And there's been a couple ugly performances from Morgan Rielly this season. So yeah, you're right. And on the power play, I don't know what he's doing some of the time. He patrols the blue line, and he usually does a great job of that. But there's a lot of questions that need to be answered here. Dan says then Anderson will be asking for $7.5 million. I don't know what he's referring to then, but yeah, I don't believe that we're going to be able to re-sign Frederik Anderson. I don't know how we will be. Uh, that's up in there. It's a long time from now, but I think that most likely Frederik Anderson will be playing for a different team at the end of the season, especially if he plays his way into a bigger contract. Right now, he's getting paid somewhere around $5 million. If he's going to be asking for $7.5 million and he plays to that level, then he's not going to be a Maple Leaf next year. He's over 30 years old, and that money is money that the Toronto Maple Leafs simply do not have. Frederik Anderson, I think he's going to be in a different uniform next year. So let's do what we can while we have Freddie, steady Freddie, our rock back there. Let's do what we can while he's back there. Great third line center. Is 14th in the leagues and hit. He also has the same number of points as Kerfoot, but in 2 less games. He might have to throw in a 5th rounder here. Oh, it's a trade offer. Get Adam Lowry from Winnipeg and trade Kerfoot. He makes close to $3 million. And Kerfoot makes over $3 million. So Toronto might need to retain $500,000, but it's worth it. This is a guy who would be a great third line center, and he's 14th in the league in hits. He also has the same number of points as Kerfoot, but in 2 less games. He might have to throw in a 5th rounder here. What's Lowry's contract like after this season, though? That's the question I have. I don't know how many years is left on Adam Lowry's thing, on his contract. Toffoli is a win for his 4-year contract for $4.2 million, sitting with 15 goals on the season. And yeah, hey, he's been a stud over there in Montreal. Tyler Toffoli has been a stud, especially against the Canucks. But he's been a stud. Definitely a win for the Habs. Dan says it's Carey Price's fault. Hey, I want to know, Dan, how do you feel about Carey Price right now? And I'm not trying to just get under your skin here. Like, I actually want to know. I'm not saying this out of spite for the Canadians. Like, I have always loved Carey Price as a player. He seems like a great guy off the ice. I'm a Carey Price fan, but what's going on there? How do you feel about Carey Price over in Montreal right now? Well, it's only one game, and Leafs can win the next game and go on a roll. And that's the thing. So many times after the Toronto Maple Leafs have a loss this season, we go on a roll. Didn't happen after the last game that we lost, obviously, clearly. But the Toronto Maple Leafs need to come back strong, and they need to go on a roll. They absolutely need to go on a roll here, especially going up against the Winnipeg Jets when they're second in this division. The Jets are going to come out firing. Do you think Price will ever make the Olympic team? He's been brutal this year. I think he should. I know this year he's been struggling really bad this year. But I think he'll bounce back ultimately. I really think he'll bounce back. I think he'll get into the Olympics. He's got the experience winning gold medals at the World Juniors and the Olympics. So I'd expect him to get onto the team. I don't really see a reason for him not to unless this performance drags on into next season as well. I have a lot of belief in Carey Price. I think he'll bounce back. So anyways, tonight the Maple Leafs lost their 2nd straight game to the Vancouver Canucks. It was a tough loss. The first one, it was whatever, right? The first loss, 3 games in 4 nights. It happens. But tonight was inexcusable. Toronto Maple Leafs need to get back to work. Got 2 days off. Valuable 2 days off. and we need to use those days to rest up and prepare for the Winnipeg Jets, who are going to come out firing. They're in second place. We need to be ready for the Winnipeg Jets. Oh, okay. Adam or Selman goes back to the trade thing. So Adam Lowry is a free agent next year, and by that I think he means at the end of next season. But if it's at the end of this season, I can already tell you that deal will not happen because Kyle Dubas isn't going to bring someone in for rental. You could look into doing that for sure. Adam Lowry seems like a great piece, but I think you'd have to give more than a fifth rounder if you're going to get him. More than a fifth rounder with Kerfoot. John Howard. We can't win them all. However, we have to get on track, kick ass, win them all. I meant we need the Wayne train. Hey, the Wayne train. He's going to be good to get back in, 3 weeks probably would be my estimate. He's a valuable piece and can't wait to get him back. He's obviously going to bolster this lineup and give this team a much needed spark. Frank Rusty Nails says, for years, Leafs always overlook the bottom of the pack teams and lack effort. It's disturbing to lose to teams you're supposed to win against and only putting in effort playing the higher ranked teams. Great comment, Frank. Great comment. Look at the teams that we've lost to this year. We've lost to the Senators twice. We've lost to the Canucks twice. It's not cool to lose to these bad teams. These are games that you should win. And the games that you should win, you need to win. We gave these games away. Tonight, we gave this game against the Vancouver Canucks away. Just like we gave the game away against the Ottawa Senators when we blew a 5-1 lead. We need to be better. And we need to be better against the worst teams. Every game matters. These inconsistencies are just going to become habits. And when we play against better teams, if we even get out of the North Division, we play against the Boston Bruins, Tampa Bay Lightning, these inconsistencies will show as they turn into habits. You cannot take any game for granted in the NHL. These are all professional athletes who've worked extremely hard to get to these points. And when you think about it, everyone has extra motivation playing against the Toronto Maple Leafs. Everybody outside of this market hates this market. It's just the way it is. It's the way it is. We're hated. We're hated. And even if the player that is playing against us cheered for us, loved us growing up, that's even more motivation. That's even more motivation. That's the team that I grew up cheering for. I'm going to play against them, and I'm going to do this against them. There's always added motivation when you're playing against the Toronto Maple Leafs. It's just the way it is. Yes, he says, as the season moves along, these bottom team games will get tougher and tougher because those teams will be fighting for their playoff lives. And yeah, Vancouver, I wouldn't be surprised to see them, try to make a run and try to get into the playoffs. Not sure that they'll be successful, but they're definitely a better team than their record shows. It's just their problems are all defensively. They've got a lot of good talent. They're an emerging young team, but defensively they're a mess. Pro Guide Entertainment says Toronto is the center of hockey universe. Every hockey fan knows this. Leafs Nation, hockey fans in general, the support that I get on this channels, it's really outstanding. From everywhere around the world. There's viewers from Switzerland, Sweden, Australia, the United States, Canada, everywhere, worldwide, and it's really just amazing to see. It feels good. So I ask that everyone, can you please smash that like button and hit the notification bell up there if you're watching this on YouTube to be notified every time new content comes out from Maple Leafs Media. Always got new stuff coming out. Tough loss tonight. The team needs to recover and respond against the Winnipeg Jets. 2 days of rest, and then we got the Winnipeg Jets, who are second place in this division. So, yeah, I mean, tough loss. But everyone out there, please stay safe. Thank you for coming in here tonight and watching this video. It's been hour 15 minutes now. So until next time, I'm your guy, Jake. Go Leafs. Stay safe.